guys, welcome to the first video on the channel, and today I'll be teaching you guys the different ways that you can solve systems of linear equation. And without wasting any time, let's just get started. First, we're going to try and solve the system of inequalities is by graphing it. So we have two equations here. Y is greater than negative 3x minus 3 is going to be the first one we're going to tackle. So first you want to plot a point on the y-axis of negative 3. Then you want to go down 3 on the y-axis and to the right 1 on the x, because negative 3 over 1 is your slope. You want to make sure your line is dotted because it's y is greater than and not y is greater than equal to. And then you want to shade above because y is greater than. For the second one, you plot a negative 8. You go up 2 on the y-axis and over 1 on the x-axis. Dotted and shade above because it's basically the same equation. And then where it overlaps is where you're going to get your answer from. And you can just pick any point from where it overlaps. And that's it. So let's start with the first one. You're going to plot at negative 2 on the y-axis. You're going to go down 3 on the y and to the right 1 on the x-axis. Then you want to make sure your line isn't dotted because it's greater than or equal to. And then you want to shade above because it's greater than. And for the second one, you want to plot at negative 7 on the y. Go up 2 on the y. I'm struggling, y'all. We'll go up 2 on the y and then to the right 1. And you also want to make sure that that line isn't dotted because it has an equal under it, like greater than or equal to. And then you want to shade above because it's greater than. And then wherever it overlaps is where you get your answer from. And that's it. Okay, so this is the last problem like this. So for the first equation, you want to plot a point at 3 on the y-axis. Then you want to go up 3 on the y-axis and to the right 3 on the x. You want to shade above and you want to make sure the line is dotted because there's no equal to. For the second one, you want to plot at negative 5 on the y-axis. Then go down 1 on the y and to the right 1 on the x. You want to shade below because it's less than and make sure your line is dotted because there's no equal under it. And then that little itty bitty section is where they overlap, and so anything from that section will satisfy for an answer. And yeah, that's it. Okay, so for these we don't have to graph 2, we just have to graph 1. And so you start at negative 4 on the y-axis, then you want to go down 5 on the y-axis and then move over to the right 3 on the x-axis. Then, oh my gosh, let me hurry up. Okay, then you want to make sure your line is dotted and then shade above because it's greater than and there's no equal sign. Okay, so this is pretty much the same concept except we have to get y by itself. So all I did was add 2x to both sides. And so first you want to place your point at negative 4 on the y-axis. Then you want to go up 2 on the y and to the right 1 on the x. You want to make sure that your line is solid because it's greater than or equal to, and shade above because it's greater than. And that's it. Okay, this is the last problem like this, and yeah, let's just do this again. So you want to plot negative 1 on the y, then you want to go up 6 and to the right 5 on the x-axis. And I hope you guys understand what I mean by that. So all you want to do is just count up 6 on the y-axis and then just follow that same line to the right 5 times. You want to make sure your line is solid and you graph above because it's y is greater. Okay, so now we're going to be solving inequalities by graphing them on a number line. So first I had to get x by itself. So all I did was add 11 to both sides, and then I divided it by 2, and I ended up getting x is greater than negative 5. And oh my goodness, I was struggling to type this in. Like, I could not find the less than symbol. But then on the number line, you just want to graph greater than negative 5. So every single number that's greater than negative 5, so that's to the right of negative 5, you want to graph on negative 5 and make sure your line is open. Okay, second question, I had to move the x by itself, so I added 15 to both sides, and I divided by 7, and I got x is greater than negative 8. And so I would graph it all the way to the right, everything that is greater than negative 8. And I would keep the circle open, because think of it as like incomplete, because it doesn't have the dash under it. So yeah. Okay, so this is the last problem, and I had to get x by itself. So all I did was add 19 to both sides and divide both sides by 5, and I ended up getting x is less than or equal to 3. And so I graphed that by clicking on 3 and dragging it to the left side, and I made sure my circle was open. And yeah, that's it. That's the end of the video. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.